In today's Necron video, we are going to compare the Necron Cryptek with Chronometron versus the Cryptek with the Canoptek Cloak in our quest to find out what is the best Necron HQ 8th edition. It's coming right up.
Necrons!
Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. And if you're new to the channel and you want to keep up to date with the Wonders of Warhammer 40k, then please subscribe and hit the bell button to turn on all notifications so you don't miss an upload. Okay, so in today's video we are going to compare two more Necron HQs, the Cryptek versus the Cloak Tech, in what I hope will be a fun and informative video. Okay, time to pit the two Crypteks up against each other. Now both of these models actually use the same data cards, but effectively they are two separate units. Now the Cryptek that can take Chronometron, for this video I'm just going to call him the Cryptek. And the other one that can take the Canoptek Cloak, I'm going to call the Cloak Tech. Now the Valtech, hold on, didn't you just say you're going to call it a Cloak Tech? Yes, sorry Nick. Is a new model and it's made of plastic, and the old Cryptek is made of fine cast. Now that should automatically give a -2 points to the Cryptek for that. However, fine cast, let's not go there. Let's square it up again. Okay, so first of all the points. Now the base cost and the weapon option is the same for both of these units. However, the Canoptek Cloak upgrade is 5 points and the Chronometron upgrade is 15, making the Cloak Tech cheaper and earning him his first point. Now, in terms of the stats line, they both have exactly the same stats. However, the Cloak Tech can move 10 inches as opposed to 5 inches on the normal Cryptek. That's twice the distance and definitely going to earn him another point. Now in terms of weapon options, both of these units have the Staff of Light and there's no option to change or upgrade it without using a relic. Now on a Cryptek, the Staff of Light isn't very good in close combat. It's only one attack at strength 4. It is -2 AP but only does 1 damage. However, it's better at shooting because you've got 3 shots at strength 5. Again, -2 AP and 1 damage. Now personally, I like to use the Veil of Darkness on my Crypteks. I find that makes good use of those shooting attacks from the Staff of Light. However, we'll talk more about that later in the video. For now though, they both have the Staff of Light and there's no difference, so there's no points change. Now in terms of the keywords, both of these units have the Dynasty Faction keyword, and they both have Infantry, Character and Cryptek. However, the Cloak Tech also has the Fly keyword, very handy for moving and for falling back and shooting, especially with that Staff of Light, and that's going to give him another point. Don't want to do too many takes of this. Come on, puff up. Now in terms of the war gear options, the Cryptek with Chronometron is very good. He has the ability to give any infantry dynasty units within 3 inches of him a 5+ invulnerable save against ranged weapons. Now you could take the Thrall of the Silent King Warlord trait, extending that ability by 3 inches. That's a 6-inch range for Chronometron. However, depending on the dynasty that you're taking, I think there could be better Warlord options. So the Cryptek with Chronometron gives all qualifying units within range of his ability a 5+ invulnerable save, and of course he gets that invulnerable save for himself as well. That's very good, and I nearly gave the Chronometron Cryptek 2 points for this ability. However, it only works against ranged weapons, so that means in close combat you lose the invulnerable save, and I think that's a big shame. So it's just 1 point for the Chronometron Cryptek. Now, we've already established that the Cloak Tech can move 10 inches and has the fly keyword. Now that is already very good. However, the Cloak Tech also has a special living metal. So both units have the normal living metal, regaining 1 lost wound per Necron turn. And for that I'm going to give a point to the Necron Cryptek. However, with the Cloak you have an extra ability. Now the Canoptek Cloak has the ability to give any unit within 3 inches that has the living metal special rule and the dynasty keyword D3 living metal as opposed to 1. And of course the Cryptek can use that on himself if he wants to, or he can use his standard living metal. So he could regain 1 wound on himself and D3 on another unit, or he could take the D3 living metal for himself. That's pretty good and really helps him or other units survive, and definitely earns him a point. That was hard to get out. Both units are Technomancers, giving you +1 RP roll to dynasty units within 3 inches. Both have it, so no points change. Okay, so now the fun factor. Now I think there's no competition here. The Cloak Tech, a brand new plastic model that comes with his own very cool little spider stroke giant scarab that moves 10 inches so that you can actually do something with him on the table other than just plonk him down for the whole of the game. So yeah, it's a point for the fun factor for the Cloak Tech. Okay, so there you go, the Cloak Tech wins by 3 points. Now that's basically down to the fact that his Canoptek Cloak has 3 buffs rather than the Chronometron's 1. However, both of these units are very useful in a Necron army, so let's have a chat about them. Okay, so first of all, the Chronometron Cryptek. Giving units a 5+ invulnerable save is pretty awesome, especially at the beginning of the game, giving your key units like Immortals and Destroyers a good chance for survival, especially if you're not going first. Now he is pretty slow moving, only 5 inches, however his main job is going to be to sit at the back to babysit your key units, giving them an RP bonus and of course that 5+ invulnerable save. So slow movement isn't too much of a problem with this guy. Also, because he's going to be a bit more defensive, you could easily make him your warlord and he probably won't be targeted too much. Just watch out for snipers. Now you could be more aggressive with this guy and give him the Veil of Darkness relic, allowing you to teleport once per game. Of course that will get your Staff of Light in range, but what you want to be doing is teleporting another unit with him, like a big unit of Immortals or a very big unit of Warriors, allowing them to do some damage with their guns. Of course he can still boost their RP and give them the invulnerable save, helping them to survive. And don't forget to give My Will Be Done to them from your Overlord before you teleport them, because now you don't lose that special ability after you've teleported. Thank you GW for confirming that we can do that. Now the Veil of Darkness is also very useful even if you're going to use him more defensively. Wait until your enemy's close, potentially even in close combat, and then you can teleport him and the unit that's in close combat out across the table. That's very good for grabbing objectives, last minute line breaker, or just as a major distraction. Now the Canoptek Cloak Cryptek of course doesn't have that 5+ invulnerable save, and that can be a hard pill to swallow when you're using him. However, he does have the fly special rule and he moves 10 inches, and that means he's going to keep up with our fast moving units like Destroyers and Tomb Blades. You might need to advance him as well, but he still can move very fast. Now potentially if you had Wraiths nearby, you could use the repair subroutines stratagem for 2 points and give them a 4+ RP within range of the Cryptek. And of course we already know that RP is at its most powerful when you're reanimating units with more than 1 wound. Now pushing him forward is of course more dangerous for him, especially if he's your warlord. Now he does have that D3 living metal, which will help him a little bit, especially if he's not killed outright. However, if you do lose him and especially if he's your warlord, I'd recommend you use the Resurrection Protocol stratagem. For 1 CP, you roll a dice and on a 4+, he stands back up with 1 wound. Very useful and even worth saving a reroll command point for that ability. However, the Cloak can make a very good defensive unit as well. Stick him at the back of the army next to your Doomsday Arcs, giving one of those D3 living metal each turn. Very useful indeed. Now I also like to use the Veil of Darkness on my Cloak as well, allowing me to do that tactical deep strike with a big unit of destroyers. That can be quite devastating, and of course he can move 10 inches, keeping up with the destroyers when they move the next turn and giving them the RP bonus at the same time. So both units are very usable. In actual fact, I think you could use both units in the same army quite happily. However, if you let go of that 5+ invulnerable save, the Cloak for me has the edge. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments box below. And if you want to see some more videos like this one, then check out my Necron Best HQ playlist just there. And if you're not subscribed yet, start now and hit the Idic Beer icon. Beam me up.